I want you to turn off the lights and listen carefully, because what you're about to hear is a true story that happened right here in Egypt. A story more terrifying than any movie and more unbelievable than any myth. This is the story of Bakri, the undertaker whose life became one of the strangest and darkest cases ever recorded. In 1979, Bakri was a simple 28-year-old man living in the southern town of Barbara. He had grown up around death. His father was an undertaker, and from a young age, Bakri decided to follow the same path. His work made him fearless, too fearless. People around him loved him for his kindness, but they feared him for something else: his constant contact with the dead. Rumors spread that he carried the smell of the dead, that misfortune followed him until even his friends kept their distance. When Bakri's parents died, he found himself completely alone. And alone, he began to feel that something was moving inside the house at night. His close friend Abdel Samad told him it was all in his head and advised him to get married so he wouldn't live in loneliness anymore. Bakri agreed. Abdel Samad arranged everything, and Bakri soon married a poor but sweet young woman named Aisha. For months, their life was peaceful. Aisha cooked, cleaned, visited her family, and always returned home smiling. She always said Bakri was a good man. No drinking, no bad habits, always reading Quran. But on July 3rd, 1980, Bakri woke up to pray Fajr. The water was cut off, so he called his wife to bring him some. She didn't answer. He shook her and froze. Aisha was dead. Cold, silent, gone. The police found no signs of violence or struggle. She was buried by Bakri's own hands. And the town whispered, "He's cursed." Loneliness destroyed Bakri again. Abdel Samad insisted he should marry once more. Reluctantly, Bakri agreed. He married Asmahan, 24 years old. And strangely, she was happy with him. Until one morning in March 1981. She woke up gasping for air, unable to breathe. Bakri rushed her to the hospital, but doctors found nothing wrong. The next morning, neighbors heard Bakri's screams. Asmahan was found dead, eyes wide open, face frozen in terror. Again, no marks, no bruises, no sign of a struggle. Bakri buried his second wife, and people whispered louder. For 6 months, Bakri isolated himself. He grew a beard, stopped speaking to people, and lived like a ghost. But Abdel Samad insisted, "You must marry again. You deserve happiness." Reluctantly, Bakri agreed. He married Ahlam, who seemed kind and understanding. She comforted him, held him while he cried over the past, and told him fate was in God's hands. But on November 9th, 1981, just after Bakri prayed Fajr, he tried to wake her for breakfast. She was blue. Her hands were frozen in a strange defensive position, as if she had been pushing something away. The police again found no signs of choking or assault, yet it was becoming impossible to believe this was a coincidence. Bakri had now buried 3 wives in less than 3 years. People mocked him, avoided him, and said, "If a woman wants to die, let her marry Bakri." He decided to leave town forever. Bakri moved to Mogadishu to start a new life. There he met a kind man named Abdullah al-Safi, who let him work on his farm. Bakri worked quietly, honestly, and earned Abdullah's trust. Eventually, Abdullah offered him something he never expected: "Marry my only daughter, Amal." Bakri lied. He said he had been married only once. He didn't want to relive his past or terrify them. They married on June 7th, 1982, and for months Bakri felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. But peace didn't last. On December 14, 1982, neighbors heard Amal screaming. They broke into the house and found Bakri lying on the bed, half asleep, confused, and Amal on top of him, attacking him, shouting, "He tried to kill me! He tried to choke me while he was sleeping!" Bakri was asleep. Everyone saw it, yet she insisted he was killing her in her sleep. The police arrested him. During the investigation, Bakri claimed he had only one wife before Amal, but lawyers discovered the truth. He had been married 4 times, and 3 wives were already dead. The prosecutor ordered the exhumation of the 3 bodies. The forensic report was shocking. All 3 had died from oxygen deprivation. Classic signs of strangulation, yet there were no marks on their necks. Experts concluded something chilling. Bakri strangled all his wives while sleepwalking. He suffered from a rare mental condition, homicidal sleepwalking disorder, a severe form of sleepwalking where the person is unconscious but capable of violent actions. He wasn't aware. He wasn't conscious. He remembered nothing. But he did kill them. Even the polygraph proved he believed he was innocent. Despite the psychiatric diagnosis, the judge refused to consider mental illness as a defense. And on April 3, 1983, the court sentenced Bakri to death. Some believed he was a murderer. Others believed he was cursed. And a few believed he was an innocent man whose illness destroyed everyone around him. But one thing was certain. Bakri became one of the strangest cases ever studied, and a terrifying reminder of how dangerous untreated psychological disorders can be. And that is the end of a story no one could have predicted.